Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Judith Miller, Vice President of Research at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, Dr. Jonathan Schanzer. Good to have you both here. Let me start with you. Netanyahu, I thought he gave one of the best speeches I've ever seen before Congress.
Well, both he and the president are expert at giving great speeches, but this was truly an astonishing performance, even by Bibi, because he addressed so many different audiences effectively, Lou.
How is it that by inclusion you managed to take away? That was a peculiar rhetorical performance there. John, your thoughts?
Well, I thought it was a terrific performance, but I think it's also worth noting that he kept himself in the headlines for the last 3 weeks. He had a massive audience today. I'm curious to see what the numbers look like, but people were tuning in from all over the world, online and here in the United States. And he laid out the major problems that he had with the nuclear program. And I think that the word on the street right now is that at the end of the day, it was a win.
A win, and the winners, certainly amongst the winners, we have to put the American people, the people as John referenced, watching Netanyahu deliver a speech. I don't know what the president was afraid of before, but I think he's much more fearful of Netanyahu's communication skills now than before.
Well, you can see why he was afraid. I mean, in fact, I think that Bibi Netanyahu ought to thank the president for building up so much interest in the speech. Would the whole world have been watching if President Obama hadn't made such a stink over his being invited here?
Such a thank you card from Netanyahu. that would be
right.
The substance of this, I have not heard to this point. I have not heard such a cogent, pointed, effective analysis of the threat that Iran represents to the world, not just to Israel, not just to the region, but to the world. The reminders that there's a front on 5 continents, a network of terrorists led by Iran, sponsored and supported by Iran. Why is that? Why is it no one has been able to break through but the Prime Minister of Israel?
Well, I think what he wanted to do was put the nuclear negotiations in the context of the country we're dealing with. And, you know, so often experts get involved too deeply in the weeds and they forget about the overall context. And what I think what Bibi was trying to do was say, look, even if you got a deal, we're still stuck with this problem of Iran. And that clearly got to the president, made him very angry because he responded, as you saw, Lou, and as you noted, in a very direct way.
What do you think of the issue as to why we have not heard skeptical voices, the dissenters, the opposition from Republican or Democrat in this country? John, your reaction?
Well, I think actually Congress has been quite forceful on this. I think about Mark Kirk. I think about Senator Menendez. I think about a number of House Democrats and Republicans.
No, I'm not saying that people aren't. I'm not saying there isn't opposition, and that there haven't been voices of opposition raised. But I haven't heard anyone even come close to organizing their mind, the facts, and reason, and coming to a conclusion that was so powerful that it may have, in fact, undercut the very objective successfully that President Obama sought.
Well, this was the speech of Benjamin Netanyahu's life. I think he believes that his entire professional career, a very distinguished career, culminated in this speech. I think it almost doesn't matter whether he wins another term as prime minister, that this was the moment that he had been waiting for, that he could lay out this argument. It was his mandate as the prime minister of Israel to do it. There was no one else that was going to do it as well. It is a shame, though, that you note that here in America you don't have as many people concerned about this, because at the end of the day, a nuclear Iran is a threat to the United States. It is a state sponsor of terrorism. It does conquer territory around the world. It sponsors terrorist groups around the world. We should be hearing more people making this point more forcefully.
Perhaps some will have found inspiration. Judy, thanks.
Perhaps.
For being with us. Judith Miller, Jonathan Schanzer, thank you both for being with us.